And in Nehemiah chapter 1, it's a most familiar story that you found. I guess you have read it again and again before. And our people have preached about it, about Nehemiah. And I'm going to read it. The history of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, now it came about in the month of Chislev in the 20th year. When I was in Sushan, these are the most, tricky words. It's hard for me to pronounce it. And in the king's town. That Hanani, one of my brothers, came with certain men from Judah, and in answer to my request for news of the Jews who had been prisoners and had got away and of Jerusalem. They said to me, the small band of Jews now living there in the land are in great trouble and shame. The wall of Jerusalem has been broken down, and its doorways burned with fire. Then after hearing these words, for some days I gave myself up, and weeping and sorrow, and seated on the earth, and taking no food, I made prayer to the God of heaven. Here in this chapter, what we see is Nehemiah, he met with his brother, named Hanani. And then Hanani have brought him some bad news. And the bad news is, the wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its doors is burned away. And it's not really a pleasant news. It's not really something that can make you happy, because the wall of Jerusalem is not like before. And everything is broken down. And there is no door at all. The door is burned with fire. And so the news is there is a problem in Jerusalem. The news is Jerusalem do have some crisis, and crisis needs to be fixed. And so when Nehemiah was hearing this, and what he did was, he just put himself before God, and then he started asking God, and then even the Bible says he started weeping, and then he started crying. He'd been in a big sorrow, and also he seated on the earth, and even to the extent of not taking food, but only praying to the God of heaven. That was what Nehemiah was decided to do when he see problems. And then he start facing the throne of God. He start putting himself in the presence of God. Why? The very reason in this chapter is because there is a problem in Jerusalem. There is a problem in the temple of God. And the temple of God have been destroyed. And the temple of God, the doors have been burned. And for him, this is a big deal. So he decided to do something. First he cries, he wept, then he kneeled down, and then he fasted. Then after, when you read, then the king, finally, he gave him the blessing, and then he went back to Jerusalem, and then he built the broken walls of Jerusalem, and he restored the burned door of Jerusalem. Here is the thing. Today, in the world that we are living, there are a lot of walls that are broken down. Walls of life, doors of life. And there are, whenever you go, whether here in Hornell, in New York City. I've been to New York City, and let me tell you something. One of the biggest cities in the world that I really hate is New York City. Because, for me, everything is a toy. Sorry to say this, if some of you are offended, I just want to apologize. But I don't like New York City. And there I see a lot of broken walls. And I see it not, I don't like it for living, but I like it for mission. Because there are a lot of broken walls. There are a lot of burned doors of life that are living in the city. The same is like when you go around in the town of Hornell, in the state of New York, or in the country of USA, even in the globe that we are living in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, in East Africa, there are a lot of broken walls. Walls of life have been broken. A lot of lives are living in a life of darkness. And when I say darkness, in a spiritual darkness. And you know, like when Nehemiah was hearing this, he just decided to pray. He's not only struggling with his emotions. And a lot of people, after they heard about the news of darkness, and the first thing that they would do is they will cry and struggle emotionally, and they could even pray. But this guy, he did something different. He went to the place where everything is broken down. He went with his tools. Today, the pastor was Pastor Aaron, I guess his name, and he was talking about how you guys were building this building, and everybody was bringing his tools and then building something. And the same is with Nehemiah. He took what is necessary. He didn't take people with him. What he took is the God he serves. And then by faith, he went all the way to Jerusalem. By faith, he able to get all the provision from God for the restoration of the temple of Jerusalem, for the restoration of the walls, and for the restoration of the new door and a new building. So is today. We all, as I said, we live in the last days. In order Christ to come back, we, as citizens of the kingdom of God, we have to be missional. We have to be missional like Nehemiah. Nehemiah is the greatest example for my life. When he see needs, while he was in his comfort zone, while he was in a palace, while he was having everything that he wants, when he hear someplace far away, there are people. There are people. There is a temple that needs to be restored. When he heard this news, he decided to come out of his shell. He decided to come out of his comfort zone. And so is today. And some of you who are here, that are hearing while I'm speaking, I believe the Lord has spoken to you in different ways to come out of your comfort zone like Nehemiah. Nehemiah never cry, never sorrow, never weep, and leave everything, there and then start, enjoying life. He take an action. And maybe some of you who are here, maybe the Lord is expecting some actions from your life. Maybe the Lord is speaking to you to do missions. Maybe the Lord is speaking to you to go overseas. Maybe the Lord is speaking to you to go to an American, the Native American reservation camps. I've been to several of reservation camps, and I see the need of missions there as well. And maybe the Lord have called you to do some missions in the city of Hornell or in New York City. And you have heard the voice and you have the conviction, but maybe some of you, I don't know, if you don't take the action this morning, the Lord have sent me to you guys to challenge you as Nehemiah was challenged. Take the action. And in order the Lord wants to come back, the Lord expects your move. And if God told you to go to a certain place, brothers and sisters, don't hesitate. Just go. And most of the time, what we do is, we say, oh, well, Lord, you are asking me to go somewhere. What about the finance? What about my bills? Like, I have this bill, I have mortgage, I have this, I have my children education, I have this and that, which is a good reasoning. Or you might ask, Lord, okay, like I will go, but I don't know anybody. Or some of you might ask, okay, Lord, okay, I could go, but I don't know the language. And some of you might say, okay, Lord, I can go, but this and that. But today, from honest heart, I want to challenge you. If the Lord speaks to you to go, then go. Don't search for the details. I know you guys are Americans. You want to know everything before. And I know I'm an Ethiopian. I don't want to know everything before I start the journey. Honestly, take the Ethiopian aspect. That's the spiritual way. As you walk, you'll figure out the detail. It's hard. I know John is laughing. As you walk, as you start praying, as you start taking the first step, when you start the first step, trust me, the Lord will show you the second step. So is my life. When I begin Strong Hearts, and some of you or most of you have known this testimony, what I had this strong desire of being a politician. Because my dad was part of the communist era. And he was a communist, and I'm a purely neoliberal. And I studied politics, and I studied international relations, and I studied philosophy, and I studied marketing management. And I know when I talk about politics, and my ambition was to be a politician. But at some point, the Lord has challenged me, and He asked me clearly, Dandy, come out of your shell. Guess what? I don't have anything. I had only $2 in my bank account. And the first day that I did was, I called people. I called some friends, and then I just told them that, two Americans, one Canadian, one from Australia, and one from Northern Ireland, and one from Ethiopia, and they are my friends. We have this Starbucks types coffee house in Ethiopia called Calbis, and then I called them, and then I told them that's in 2007, the first week of December, and I told them, the Lord have given me a vision, and the Lord is challenging me to come out of my shell. And the Lord is asking me to serve Him in the house. So I told them, I need money. I need money because, I want to be an American. Okay, I need money. I want to act like a very educated person. A person that reason out and a person that really knows where he's going. Okay, with enough capital, with enough budget, with enough finance, with enough people. So I just asked them, hey guys, I need money. And that's clearly what I told them. The Lord have spoke to me, and this is what we are going to do, and we are going to transform lives from the inside out, and we are going to have a lot of projects. We are going to engage in our church planting. And then I told them, bring the money. And surprisingly and sadly, and they told me that, Dandy, we don't have the money, and we don't want to be part of what you call the vision that you receive from the Lord. And that was the biggest frustration. Let me tell you something. If the Lord speaks to you, step out or start what He told you to do by faith, not by relying on the resource that is there on the hands of people. Then they told me, and I was so frustrated. The Lord told me clearly, like that was a clear thing, like the Lord have told me, like, to serve him in the house, not in politics, to serve him in the house. And then I surrender myself. The moment that I surrender myself like Nehemiah, then, then I start trying to figure out, and I told that, well, I can get money, and then I can start with money. Then the Lord told me, what do you have? What you have at your hand? And I say to the Lord, okay, what I have right at my hand is like 25 birr, which is like $2 during that time currency. And then, I just start walking, and I was, driving my motorbike, and then I told the Lord that, okay, Lord, I mean, you gave me the vision. This vision is not mine. You have all the patent right, and I'm just a trustee. And so, even I called my friends and I invited them coffee. And sorry, you people like drinking big coffee, tall macchiato, tall cappuccino, tall, and my friends have ordered tall, and when you order tall, it's a little bit expensive there, like a Starbucks. And so I paid over 200 birr, but get nothing. I didn't get the dollar that I was expecting from these people. And the Lord taught me something, and clearly the Lord have told me, did I ask you to go and ask for money? And I say, Lord, sorry. I remember clearly that's what I said. Lord, sorry. I didn't get a single coin. Because at the beginning I thought, when God speaks, in order what God speaks to be accomplished, I thought I need money. But the Lord told me, you don't need money. You need me. Then I say, okay. Then I start, I start praying, and then by faith I start looking for a house to rent and things like that. Then guess what? That was like the second week of December on Thursday. I look, a place to rent, and a broker took me there, a dealer took me there. I saw it, and then I talked with the person, and I supposed to pay over $5,000 for a year some money. And I had only 25 birr, which is like $2 in my pocket, in my bank account. And I told to the guy, he told me that to pay it before Saturday noon. And I say, yes, I'll bring you before Saturday noon. And the only confidence that I had was not the money that I had in the bank, but the only confidence that I had is the God that spoke to me. Then I prayed back to God, and I told him, okay, God, you have to provide. Guess what? On Friday night, I got a call. Like what Nehemiah experienced. I got a call. And then I talked with my friend who lives in Canada, and then, he told me he sent me a Christmas gift and a New Year gift, and he told me that he sent me some money through Western Union. And then, even I forgot as I prayed on Thursday, okay? And then I went to the bank to get money, because friends used to send me $20, $40, from this part of the world, and I used to send them some card because I can't send money. I mean, and so that's how it used to be. Guess what? On Saturday morning when I go, it was exactly the money that I was looking to rent a place, but a little bit over with 35 cents. And, for the first time ever I cried. And, as a man, there are a couple of moments that have been, I had cried, I guess. And, when I watched Titanic movie, I cried. And, when I watched The Passion of Christ, I really cried, and that was the third experience, I guess. And when I wake up, the bankers were looking at me, and I say, I feel bad, And then right away I ran before the noon Then I paid everything and secured the place. Brothers and sisters, does the Lord speak to you something? Then I want to challenge you. Start the journey by faith. Missions, there's mission here in the church, there's mission here in this town, there's mission here in this state, there's mission here in this country, there's mission in Africa, there's mission in Strong Hearts.